Hey, what's up guys? I'm Dr. P. Welcome back today for another video. Now, in this one guys, we have so much to go over and so many really important topics I want to touch on. So, if you could do me a favor and drop a like and subscribe, that would be awesome. Huge shout out to the Fruit Faction and those of you using my Support a Creator code. I really appreciate that. Here are just a couple of you guys on screen. If you want to be featured in the next video or an upcoming video, send me a screenshot. The best place to do that is on Twitter of you supporting me as a creator, and I'll get you on there soon. So, of course, about 2 days ago, the Ice King event happened in Fortnite Battle Royale, and we're trying to figure out exactly what it meant. We still are. Since the event has ended, I've gotten a lot of people tweeting me saying they see something very strange up in the sky all over the place, and it looks like bits and pieces of cube fragments up in the sky. I'm not sure if this means anything at all, but I was getting so many different tweets about this that I decided I would go into the game and see if I could find anything at all like this for myself. So I popped into the replay mode and I checked out the sky and I found one pretty quickly. This is what everyone had been tweeting me. It looks a little bit like a glitch, I won't lie to you. It definitely looks like it just, wasn't designed properly or isn't supposed to be there for whatever reason. But just because that's probably the case doesn't mean it's insignificant, because it only appeared after the huge event ended. The really interesting thing about these, though, is there are multiple. In fact, at least 4 that I could find, and it took me a little while to find them, but you can see here's another one. It's just over there in a different corner, just chilling. Again, these just started showing up on the map, or in the sky, I should say, after that Ice King event went down. So, even though it might be technically a little buggy, that doesn't mean we should completely rule out any significance, because, like I said, they're all over the place in the sky right now, and I counted at least 4. There may be more. They're pretty tough to see in the actual game. Even if you have a sniper, it's just not ideal. So if you want to go and check this out for yourself, just go to the replay mode and go to drone-free camera style, and it's super easy to just zoom in and out of these corners. If anyone actually does it, make sure to comment down below how many of those cube things you can see in the sky. I counted 4. Now here's the question. What could it possibly mean? Well, we all know about Kevin, and we've talked about him coming back in some form for weeks, for months at this point. There are so many overbearing clues and hints, and I still think we're gonna see him. It looks like they're dragging it out a little longer than we would have thought. But when you look at it, there are just too many overbearing signs of things reflecting him in the game that I just have to stick with my gut and say I think he's coming back at some point. And now add these mysterious sky shapes to the list of evidence we have. What do you personally think about these sky shapes? I mean, I wouldn't even call them cubes, because for the most part it's just kind of like a 2D object, it's kind of flat, extremely weird looking. I don't even know what to say about it. I'm just gonna wait and see. I could see it going either way, and the reason I bring this up is because truly I don't think there's any detail too small to go unnoticed when it comes to Epic Games and their style of putting Easter eggs and stuff in the game that people would think mean absolutely nothing, but actually turns out to mean a lot. And I just can't help but notice it just became visible in the sky recently in the past 2 days after the Ice King event. Something in that event triggered the spawning of these things in the sky. As far as I can tell, it looks like just, by eyeballing it, the 4 I could see were basically just at the corners of the map. And that's another reason why I think this might be important and why there's a good chance Epic could have set this up as an Easter egg. Anyway, let me know what you think. So let's go on to a castle update now. I used to give you guys an update basically every day for a stretch there, because it was melting just that quick, but it slowed down a bit. But we do actually have an update for you today. As you can see, it's melted a lot more. You can basically walk along the edges of this room now. You can see there's something in the ice in the middle that was not there previously when we saw this room, when someone glitched in here and saw the whole room before. If any of you guys remember that, that was not in the middle of the room, so that is new, and we're trying to figure out what that is. based on a plethora of different leakers on Twitter, it looks like it's going to be a prisoner of some kind that the Ice King has kept trapped in his dungeon. I mean, it would make sense considering everything you're seeing on screen, so many different models and textures, plus this line of coding literally saying prisoner. You really can't get much more clear than that, so I'm really excited to see why someone's being held prisoner here. I mean, the signs were kind of obvious. We may have been able to see this coming. If you look around where this is, number one, it's in a dungeon, which is where prisoners go to get tortured. That's backed up when you look in the cells. You can see literally bloody torture equipment. So, yikes, this guy's probably been frozen for a long time. This makes things a whole lot more interesting. Recently, the Ice Queen skin became available in the item shop, and I believe it actually still is if you're watching this video basically as soon as it comes out. But there's actually something interesting Fortnite tweeted out, and then something interesting Donald Mustard, who is a big main guy over at Epic Games, followed it up with. So Fortnite tweeted out when the skin arrived and said, "A new kingdom rises, prepare for battle. Dive in now to take on the Ice Legion and survive the storm." Donald Mustard felt compelled to quote tweet it and said, "Thawed from his eternal slumber. She cannot rest until everything is frozen and safe and still." Remember, the ice was never supposed to thaw. It was supposed to be frozen forever, and that's what Donald Mustard is backing up here by saying his eternal slumber. He was never supposed to wake up. Somehow, though, he did, and now he's angry about it. Makes sense. Here's something super interesting. Now, the way Donald Mustard says this tweet, he starts it out by saying thawed from his eternal slumber, but then goes on to say she, referring to the Ice Queen, even though he started out the sentence by talking about the Ice King. So it's like we kind of start out by talking about one thing, and then bam, just kind of out of nowhere, there's somebody else. In this instance, we were talking about the Ice King, but then before we knew it, the Ice Queen was there. At least in my interpretation, that might reflect some insane magical ability of the Ice Queen to just know if something went wrong, because basically as soon as the Ice King was woken up, the Ice Queen was there to help him restore order. It looks like they summoned the snow to try and cover everything back up because, as you know, his dungeon is melting. Maybe the prisoner down there was locked up for good reason, and so they froze over the castle, and now that it's melting, he has a chance to escape. I've seen a lot of theories saying the prisoner could very well be the Fire King, and I mean, I could get behind that theory. They're saying basically because he's melting everything from within, he could be the Fire King, and that would make sense. The Ice King would definitely want to capture him and freeze him over. I have a bold prediction that I'm going to lock in right now, and that prediction is whatever is inside of this block of ice under the dungeon will end up being the Snowfall skin. You guys might have forgotten about it because you gotta wait 9 weeks from the start of the season, and we're like 7 weeks in, to actually unlock the skin, so it's gonna be a while until you can, and I really think that's who this prisoner is. Evidence from seasons past supports my claim. If you look at season 4, the skin for that season was the Visitor, and he was trapped inside the meteor. Over the course of that season, the meteor slowly but surely got whittled out and got smaller and smaller, and then finally to the point where he broke out of his capsule inside. I feel like that's what we could be playing with and toying with right now in Fortnite. It's a very similar situation. The ice is receding slowly over the course of the entire season, much like the meteor did, revealing someone inside, right in the middle, who is probably going to play a major role in the plot line. Maybe there will be ties to the dragon eggs, maybe he'll own those eggs, and those creatures will be his master. Maybe he'll control them in some way. I don't know, I'm just talking out loud, take it with a grain of salt. A few days ago, I asked you guys what you think the Snowfall skin would end up being, and I got a lot of responses. A lot of people seem to think it's going to be some kind of a snowman skin or a ninja. Whatever it is though, I feel like there's a great chance it could be what is currently in the middle of Polar Peak's dungeon. A lot of information is coming out right now, and we'll find out a lot more very soon. Make sure to stay tuned. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I'll catch you in another one very soon, and until then, peace out.